What's up, everybody? Now, without further ado, here's this Netflix idea. So, I wanted to surround Storm and certain X-Men. So, those certain X-Men are Professor Xavier, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Wolverine, Gambit, Nightcrawler. Um, Now, the premise is going to be Storm really tapping into her power, but almost losing control, almost losing complete control. So, how it's gonna happen is, well, before I even get into that, the title, because I'd either want this to be a mini series or let it be like a 24 episode thing with the following anime, and it's gonna be called. I have three titles in mind: X Men Rampage, X Men Raging Storm, or X Men Murderous Storm. So how it's gonna happen is, being that Storm and Black Panther are married, Storm is gonna invite those specific X Men I mentioned to Wakanda to celebrate their wedding anniversary. However, there will be an assassin that's hot on their trail, that's following them. Black Panther is gonna be killed, and this is what's gonna set Storm on fire. So Storm, they search all of Wakanda, but the assassin is gonna find ways to throw their scent or if their brain waves, stuff like that, to trick the X-Men. So it'll be a crazy cat and mouse thing. So Wolverine's gonna first pick up the scent of Sabretooth. So they track down Sabretooth, but before they do that, Storm is like, look, this Sabretooth, if it was him, he killed my husband. He has to die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So I'm sorry, Charles, if you don't agree with it, but I'm going to do it. But oddly enough, Charles is going to, step aside and let her do what she has to do. And Cyclops is kind of going to take the back seat as the leader on this mission because it's straight vengeance. So Storm then is the one calling all the shots. So they find Sabretooth and they beat him, especially Storm. They nearly killed him. He's almost to within an inch of his life in the most literal sense. Quicksilver and Magneto, they're gonna come, guys, we have nothing to do with it. Now, Magneto's helmet protects him, as for last time I checked, protects him from telepathic invasions, blasts, things like that. So he's gonna take off his helmet like Jean or Professor X. One of you guys read my mind and you'll know I'm not lying. And come to find out, Sabretooth wasn't the one that did it because he was too busy plotting with them to try to overthrow the X-Men. Some evil plot. But with all the breadcrumbs, they think the assassin is leaving. They end up reaching the wrong evil mutants, but they beat the hell out of each one. So, in honor of Luke Cage having a lot of hip hop in the show, and with these comic book variant covers, or different album covers, if you guys haven't seen it, you need to find them. Right about now, my favorite is Stankonia, where instead of Andre 3000 and Big Boy, it's the original Captain America, and then Falcon is Captain America on the cover. It's so dope. I definitely want to have a lot of hip hop in there, but not only some of the stuff I like Wu-Tang, Big Pun, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, J. Cole, Kendrick. Not only that, but I also want to give some underground producers I've been finding on SoundCloud. I would actually like for them to be able to score it with me. So guys like Rakim, Louis Elastic, Jay Lewis, Soul Boy, Sango, Sampha, all of these guys. Trust me, it's so many to name that I've been finding on SoundCloud. It's not even funny. Want them to score it. But back to the story. So throughout them catching, because I want them to hit like maybe between 3 and 5 of the wrong villains, but in between them finding them, I want all the fight scenes to have a hip hop track coordinated with it. So for example, I have an idea of one scene where they catch up to one villain and he's just at home chilling, like washing dishes or cooking or something like that, and I have these big Sony headphones that are over the ear, they block out sound and all that good stuff. So when he fights, or when they fight or whatever, you only hear the song. And actually, the way I would like for the shot to look is one singular shot, and I got that. I was inspired by a scene in Daredevil where he fights for 5 straight minutes, going up and down multiple levels of stairs, and one guy against like 20, and it's a non-stop continuous shot where the camera angles just switch subtly, but there's no break in the shots. So I want them to fight. Like, so for example, I have an idea where of a scene where the villain is listening to the headphones, but he's listening to Big Pun. He puts it on to start washing the dishes, for example, and he puts on Big Pun's the Dream Shatterer. So right when Big Pun's first word drops, that's when they start fighting, and every bar, every beat, all that, there's a block, there's a hit, there's a power being used, something like that. So that's kind of how I want it to look. But to get back to the story, it's going to come to a point where Storm is just so outraged she can't control her powers, because last time I checked, she is an Omega level mutant. She's extremely powerful. Black Panther will be found to actually be alive, but where he was hit, he's going to appear to be dead. By the time Storm finds out, she's already raging. Professor X gets in the middle to try to calm her down, and so does Wolverine, but her power, she just lets off so much power it literally kills Professor X. So she's gonna feel guilty and leave. But throughout the show, we'll see that it was Mystique that was the assassin, but she was under mind control and was genetically modified and mutated by Mr. Sinister. So Mr. Sinister is going to be the big villain at the end. So after Storm accidentally kills Professor X, she decides to leave the X-Men, even though the X-Men know it was completely by accident. It was not. It was nowhere near intentional. She leaves, but she continues to just go after Mr. Sinister. It's gonna come out that it was Mr. Sinister, and the reason why is what I'll keep to myself for now. But how I want it to end is, a big standoff between Storm and Mr. Sinister, but little does she know the X-Men have been tracking her the entire time, so that way when it came to it, they can be there for her. So that's the basic premise. This is an idea I've had for 2 weeks, been perfecting it. I was listening to Jizza Liquid investigative reports off of Liquid Swords, and I got the idea. I love hip hop. I love good new stuff. I don't care if you're mainstream or underground, even though most of my music tends to be underground or just people you don't hear on the radio. Like Jaruda, Damager. You don't hear that on the radio now. You don't even hear J. Cole like that on the radio. And J. Cole is one of the best rappers. Him and Kendrick, all of those guys. So that's the kind of hip hop I want to use. Some of the old school '90s stuff, some of the new stuff, but I just really, I was again inspired by the fact that they use a lot of hip hop in Luke Cage, those comic book variants. I know how Marvel gets down with having black, having more black representation and black, music in there. So just share this as much as possible. Please help me get it to the right person so this can pop off. Netflix, Marvel, love you guys. Please. Please help me develop this with you. I have so many more ideas like this that don't only span with superheroes. I have written work, so what I'm going to try to do is I want to try to make a video every once in a while and read off some of my written work, let you guys know the kind of talent and ideas I have. Share this, like this, let me know if you think the idea is dope or if I need to go back to the drawing board. But thanks again for watching, and please share this as much as possible. Help me get this to the right person, y'all. Thanks.